because they didn't put in the work beforehand. They're not going to do the actions afterwards. They're just going to show up for the role in the moment and snap into it, just like an actor in the theatre is capable of doing that. Hi, welcome to the channel. The majority of a narcissist's life, if not the entirety of it, is comprised of play acting. Instead of living their lives as themselves in the way that the average person would, they're playing out living roles like in a play. They adopt different characters and they wear them, and they confuse that with what the rest of us do. If you've ever seen children at play, they get very entranced and involved and engaged in their play. They take on different characters. They may have a favorite or a preferred character, like a king or a pirate, something that makes them feel interesting, something that makes them feel powerful, something that brings adventure and experience into their world. Now think about what happens when you pull that child aside and you say to them, enough now. You know you're not a pirate. Stop talking like that. Stop running around pretending that that stick is a sword. The child is not pleased. The child will often object and say, I am a pirate. See, look at my eye patch. Look at my enemies waiting for me. The child may even have a tantrum, get truly upset, angry, might lose it entirely, start crying and screaming if you persist in trying to reconnect them with reality. The reality that is, this is not real. What you are doing is pretense. You are not this character. Come back down to earth with the rest of us. I liken the way narcissists operate in the world to this very model that I just described, because we all know how little thanks narcissists give us when we try to bring them back down to earth, when we tell them, this is not real what you're doing, you're pretending, you're wearing a costume. They don't want to be told that the way that they're playing their character is actually perceptibly unconvincing. Because by and large, they play them well enough that most people are convinced. But you can't fool everyone all the time, especially not your friends, your family, your intimate partners. And after a while, we do catch on. We see the motions being gone through. We see the going to the spiritual location. We see the prayers or the meditation. We see the proper pose. And normally, we would interpret that. We would go, okay, the outer appearance is equivalent to that of someone who's meditating. Therefore, this person must be in meditation. But in time, it becomes obvious that this is not the case. The person may be sitting in meditation, but they're thinking about something. They're not having the experience. And you can often feel that. You may be sunk into a meditation beside them, and your spidey senses can feel that they are alert. But when you say to them, are you okay? They don't like that, because it shows that you're detecting something's off. But if you say, is it working for you? They will probably grumpily say, yes, it is, and keep acting harder. Not unlike the child who refuses to be told that what they're doing is not real. And when you do see this, it's very difficult, because you eventually start to realize that everything they do lacks the core truth. Everything is a mimicry. Everything is play acting. And when you see how far it goes, it gets very disturbing, because it's always a shell and the center is empty. It's always a pretense. You start to notice that the actions are there, but the natural aftermath doesn't happen. Or you notice that the action shows up and what should have been a precursor to it never occurred. So how did they end up there? Because they didn't put in the work beforehand. They're not going to do the actions afterwards. They're just going to show up for the role in the moment and snap into it. Just like an actor in the theatre is capable of doing that, to play the role and make it convincing. And at first, you don't realize how far this goes. You don't realize that even their relationship with us, where they're saying, I love you, I care about you, I'll be there for you, I'll keep you safe, those too are play acting. That is a child play acting a love relationship, a child play acting what it is to be a parent. And while we, as I said, are doing it to live our lives and these experiences from within, they are doing it to mimic, to play act that experience, not from a true place, and not to obtain the benefit and the maturation that would come from experiencing these things in their truth. For example, if every time you sat down to meditate, you only did it for performance, you only did it to show how spiritual you are, you only did it for grandiosity. So if every time it's only a show, it never contains what is generally behind the show, then nothing is ever as it appears. Nothing can ever contain true substance. All of what it seems they're doing will not have the outcomes that you think they will. And all of the words they're saying cannot be relied upon to contain truth, because as I said, these are only the lines of an actor. And it feels so terribly cruel, because what it means is that in doing this, unintentionally, often on their part, but either way, in doing this, they make a mockery of our lives, which, faulty humans that we are, we still try to live it with a degree of authenticity, from a place of something real, with actual meaning and purpose, and not just as a means to extract a feeling of importance from others. We don't just perform to avoid having to grow up. And even if we do on occasion, it's such a minimal thing. It's not something that we want to make our whole lifestyle. So when you're interacting with narcissists, it's valuable to keep this in mind, because it absolutely does not come naturally. Because all of the appearance looks real, we naturally just fall into a habit of believing what is said, because we don't go around in a constant state of paranoia and suspicion. But if you don't, you'll be tempted to mistake the play acting for the real. And doing that can have dire consequences. I hope you enjoyed today's message. If you did, consider leaving a comment, liking, subscribing, or sharing the video. Till next time.